The Daily News Online presents Inside High School Sports. Brought to you by Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. With your host, Alex Brasky and Nate Ryder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Inside High School Sports. You may see a little difference in this week's episode, and that's the lack of the great Nate Ryder from the Daily News, not able to join us this week. Mostly my fault. Schedules didn't really intermix due to some personal issues on my side, so I apologize to Nate, but we're going to get going regardless on another jam-packed episode of Inside High School Sports. First and foremost, we'd like to remind you that this episode is brought to you by the Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. Of course, at TVFCU, we know members love our low loan rates and our low account fees, but our great staff is really what everybody raves about. At TVFCU, if you're not a member, consider joining and learn why our TVFCU members are considered friends, family, and fans. New members are always welcome. Stop in at 10 Jefferson Square in Batavia. That's right behind Wendy's. Kicking off this week's episode, we're going to begin with the big news of the last couple of weeks. Perry's Brock Conaway, Perry Sr. Brock Conaway, state champion of Division II, 182 pounds. Stopped out there and spoke with Brock at Perry High School along with head coach Phil Lyons to get their thoughts on Conaway's great achievement and the state meet this past weekend. Coach was telling me, this is the plan all along, right?
Yeah, it was. We grinded for 2 weeks in and out, and they tried to break me, but they couldn't.
The last 2 weeks, like he was saying, that we just basically beat on him. We could not break him down. We couldn't break him down, and we just kept pushing him, and then it gave him different looks from us three coaches just working with him, and we came up with a plan, and we stuck with it.
I thought I was going to get a higher seed, but then I got stuck with 7, and everyone was telling me I wasn't the 7 seed, and I was going to prove them right that I wasn't.
Didn't have the pleasure of being there, but I watched the video on the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Twitter account, and just the excitement in his eyes and having him run over to you and exclaim like that to you. Is there any better feeling in the world than that? And how much was that a confirmation of all the hard work that you guys have put in?
Well, it's the greatest feeling in the world, and that just doesn't justify how much hard work we actually put into it. There's actually more hard work put into it than what he had to. He went out there and he was focused, stayed dedicated all year, and he just kept asking, I want more.
I thought it was going to be a tough match like my semis match. I thought it was going to be like a 2-1 win, but that takedown right in the beginning, I knew I had it then.
To have your coach there with you, who's been there with you all along, and have your family members there to celebrate that with you, how exciting was that for you, and how important was it to have all them there with you?
It was beyond exciting. There's really no words to show how excited I was. I love all of them, and I was glad they were there to see it. I'm pretty satisfied. That's what my one goal was. I had a couple other ones that I did get, but that was my main goal.
It's the first state champion for the school in all sports and everything. And I don't know if it's quite set into Brock yet, but he's the first and only right now. So he set tons of records, and what it does for athletics is huge. But I think it's even more for wrestling, because now everybody's going to, hey, there's my goal. I can go after it just like Brock.
There's really no words to put it out there, but without my coaches and all my family there, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
All right, next up, we're going to get to the hardwood. It's sectional finals time in Section 5 boys and girls basketball, and we're going to begin with the underdog Lady Indians of Letchworth. The number 11 seed defeated number 2 Byron-Bergen in the Class C1 semifinal this week, I should say, and they'll meet defending champ Pembroke in the Class C1 final. What can you say about these ladies' effort tonight?
Man, their effort is outstanding. These kids play hard. They play good, solid physical basketball. They do the things that we emphasize in our program, and they do it really, really well. But most importantly, these kids really believe in each other. The energy that they have shown, now that we've been hurt at the beginning of the year, we're starting to get some of these pieces back together, and the energy has been outstanding. So, all on them.
It's really great to have all these people back. Like, that's our team, that's who we started with from the start, and we just work so well together, and we just push our hardest when we're all together.
We're just such a family that we can just bring each other up when we're down, and I just love it. I don't know, it's great.
In front of a great crowd, obviously your student section this year. What was that like tonight?
It's great. We love the energy in the stands. It really pumps us up. We pump each other up. These sectional games really get us going. We're an underdog, and everyone loves an underdog story. We wanted it all along, and we've pushed hard to get here, so I'm super proud of everyone on the team.
They're excited right now, but when they show up to work tomorrow, they're ready to go. And again, this is a veteran basketball team. We have 7 seniors this year. They have spent a long time putting some time in, putting effort in to get to this point. I'm just happy for them. It's so awesome to see the smiles on everybody's faces in that locker room. We'd let you in there, but probably a bad idea right now. They're just super excited, and you know what? We're super excited as well. Get to go play on Saturday at 5.
All right, now on to the Lady Dragons, who are defending champions, and that was their first sectional title last season. A little bit different of a dynamic this season. Last year, not really much expected from the Dragons, but this year, with the defending championship coming in, or trying to defend their championship, I should say, big bullseye in the back of the Dragons. But if you ask Coach Funky and his Lady Dragons, they'll tell you they're not fazed by the new expectations. Red Jacket didn't make it easy for you tonight, even though the final score may have looked that way. What did they do to make things difficult for you, and what do you think your girls did to pull it out?
Well, I thought they were much quicker and faster than we thought they were. We have a very fast and quick team, and they gave us something we could handle with their speed.
Your girls' sectional title last year kind of came out of nowhere. But this year, you knew how good you were, you knew that you had to defend that title. How excited are you to be able to defend that title going into the sectional final?
We're super excited. Last year we kind of came in thinking like, why not us? Like, we believed we could do it, and then we got it done. This year, same thing, but like different position. We're on top, so people are chasing us down. But we're kind of like pressing into the pressure, and just like, we're super excited.
Last but not least in girls basketball, another defending sectional champion, this time the Elba Lady Lancers. Count it, 1, 2, 3-time defending sectional champion are the Lady Lancers. And this season, they're going to be facing off with Andover in the sectional final. And head coach Tom Redband says his girls, they're not feeling the pressure.
Certainly the starters have been here for a long time, quite a few years, so I don't think they get too rattled over little things. They seem pretty calm and cool. So as we move on and games get tougher, I'm sure that'll even come into play more.
Now, you talked about off-season work. How much does that play a part into your girls' success? Just the amount of time you spend together, not only during the season, but in the off-season.
It's a huge part, and even when we're not always together, when you get like when you have different styles and you keep playing, you just keep yourself used to, you learn new things. It just really helps you in game situations. And besides that, the spring leagues and the summer leagues, we are playing together. It's a small school, we know each other, and it's not hard anymore to know where they're going to be and what they're going to do.
They're chasing kind of some history here. I mean, 3 straight titles. There's really a bullseye on their back. You sensing any pressure from that?
It doesn't seem to be. They seem to actually be getting better as the season goes on. So I haven't noticed that at all. They shouldn't if they do. They seem to just be playing and not worrying about all that other stuff.
What are you girls saying amongst each other just to keep your heads and make sure you remain locked in here?
Well, we're taking step by step, each practice, pushing ourselves. We're not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, think too far ahead. I mean, we've been here before. We're trying to keep it going, trying to go farther this year. Not trying to get too cocky or anything.
All right, now moving on to boys basketball, beginning with the Class C2 finalist, Perry Yellow Jackets. A tough game in their semifinal against the Alexander Trojans, but the Yellow Jackets were able to come away with a clutch win, and now will face 2-time defending sectional champion Lyons in the title game. Rate for me, how gratifying is it in your first year to make the finals with such a great group of guys?
Well, it's very rewarding. I mean, as soon as I came in, these guys bought in right away. They're extremely hard-working group, and I think they deserve every right to be playing on Friday night.
Now you got a tough matchup coming up with Lyons, I believe 2-time sectional champion, if I'm not mistaken. What do you see from them, and how challenging do you expect that game to be?
Well, they're obviously very athletic and fast. We haven't seen a team with this kind of speed yet this season, so it's going to be a new challenge. I think we have to make some adjustments this week and some things that we do and just game plan a little bit differently than we've had to all years.
All 3 years leading up to this year, this is our last chance get a shot at a sectional title, and everybody on our team's been working really hard for this, and if we come home with a block on Friday, it's going to mean the world to all of us, especially as seniors.
As a senior, that'd be a dream come true. I mean, throughout my whole high school career playing varsity sports, never got really a great opportunity at winning a sectional title, and I think this would be amazing.
How confident does it make you knowing that these guys have kind of answered the bell all year, knowing that they have that capability going into such a steep challenge?
It makes us very hopeful. I think if anything, in our mind, it gives us a chance to win. Like you just said, we've seen a lot of different kinds of teams that we've had to do different things against, and every time we've answered what we need to do. So, if anything, I think the outlook is hopeful for us.
All right, now before we get to our main event, the Calmum-York rematch for the 4th time this season in the Class C3 title game, we'd like to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you by Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union. There is not a better time to leap into a new home or spruce up your current home. TVFCU is waiving the application fee on all mortgages and home improvement loans. This offer ends March 31st. Rates change weekly. Call 343-5627 to schedule your appointment and let the leaping and sprucing begin. But like I said, our main event of this Friday night, the Class C3 boys title game between rivals Calmum and York, the 4th meeting between these two teams this season. The Red Raiders took the first 2, York took the last one, and we spoke with both teams this week.
How special has this York rivalry been, and what are your expectations going into this championship game Friday night?
Well, I mean, we play each other 2-3 times a year. This year we're going to be going 4 times at it, so obviously we have 2 good programs. Knowing almost all the kids for York, they came to my camps. It's a great rivalry. I think York, Calmum, both support communities are great. Just happy to be back, get a chance to defend our title. I mean, we know we're gonna have to play, a real good game to come out with the victory. As Yorks are gonna work hard. I mean, I'm sure they're using loss last year as motivation, but we're motivated ourselves to try to repeat, which repeating stuff. I mean, it's never happened here with boys basketball, so I mean it's kind of how we're trying to motivate ourselves as well.
We're really going to have to focus on defense. Defense is a big part of this game coming up. We're going to have to shut down the three-ball game and really bring it together on offense and make sure we're moving around.
Vinny, would you have it any other way to play York for the Section 5 title Friday night? Like Coach was saying, you guys all know each other. You're really good buddies off the court. A lot of respect amongst two programs. But let's be honest, playing the Golden Knights for the block, is that what you want?
Yeah, I think that's what the team wants. We really want to get redemption on them from them beating us last time we played them. Should be very fun.
Coach, what do you say about this guy? He's been a starter on your team since the 5th game into his 8th grade year. He's Calmum's all-time leading scorer. Just what do you got to say about Vin Malasani in this kind of game?
I think he's shown it on the big stage multiple times. I said this after the Lindenville win. I mean, he's proven himself. I mean, even as a freshman to send us to the sectional finals, he hit 2 big free throws for us. He's won multiple games for us. He's tied games and sent them into overtime. He doesn't turn the ball over. He makes good decisions. I think, I'm just at ease every time we're on offense because I rely on him to basically coach the team out there, and it saves us timeouts and things like that. He knows how to play the game, and all the other guys look up to him and know what to expect from him.
It was kind of ugly. Let's be honest. They took it to you a little bit. Is there a little bit of motivating factor along that game?
Well, yeah, it was a hard loss. It's very motivating for this game. Just game plan and play defense.
What's it going to take Friday to get that W?
Obviously, a bunch of details. He's got to critique us and make us better. And with him letting us know what we're doing wrong. That allows us not to do it again and make sure that we don't.
Troy, you've been playing York a long time, bud. Just talk about what that means to kind of tee it up with these guys Friday night for all the marbles.
To us, it feels amazing because we've all started watching the older varsity players before us play in the Christmas tournaments and games before that. It's just been always a great atmosphere, and we can't wait to battle it out.
Yeah, we've been playing since we were young, at Dickens Camp and Biddy and all that stuff, and we've been hanging outside of just basketball.
Come out firing on all cylinders, really get into transition, work hard on defense, and play a lot better than we did when we were at their place.
You know this team as well as anybody. They know you as well as any team that they know. How much do you think the familiarity between your two squads is going to affect the game Friday night?
I'm sure it's going to affect it. I mean, we know them very well. They know us well. We have a lot of respect for them. We were able to get them once this year, but they've gotten us a majority of the times in the recent past. So as far as that goes, we're far from sleeping on them. We really respect them, and we're going to come to give our best effort and, hope we can stay in the ballgame.
Now, Riley, quick side note before we get to the game. You scored your 1,000th point in the semifinal. How exciting was that? And just what an atmosphere to score that in.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, like I said in the last interview I had, my teammates are always behind me on that stuff, and it's good for them to get excited for me because we're a team, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool to be the second boy in York history to ever do it.
How much do you think playing in an intense atmosphere like you did in the semifinal will help you prepare for another intense atmosphere in the final?
It'll definitely help. We'll definitely be more comfortable in that atmosphere, but we know what we got to do to, compete with them guys and hopefully get the win.
I mean, it was great. Our student section really showed up. They had a lot of fans, but I think our fans were a key part in helping us just stay comfortable out there. We've just been working since last March, trying to get back to this point. We finally done it, and it's just going to be fun out there.
How much is having so many guys that can go out there and put forth a good performance, how much does that give you guys confidence that you can pull out a game like this?
It gives us confidence because, when we get tired, we go do our bench. And the seniors are really nice to have when looking for a big shot or something, you can get them the ball.
I'm not going to lie, I liked being in Class D a little bit more. I think we would have taken a couple more in Class D, but I respect the heck out of Dan. We're really good friends. It makes for some awkward moments Friday either way. But, we know what they do. They're the best small school team I've seen starting ball games and putting an insane amount of pressure on you. We know what the challenge is, and it's immense, and we're going to go and give it our best shot. And, either way, we have a wonderful group here.
All right, before we wrap things up today on this episode of Inside High School Sports, we'd once again like to thank our sponsor, Tonawanda Valley Federal Credit Union, for all they do for local high school sports. But it should be a great weekend of sectional basketball. Obviously, still celebrating Brock Conaway's state championship. We have state swimming. We have indoor track states, which you'll see a feature of the Batavia indoor track team on our Facebook page if you'd like to check that out. But a lot of stuff going on this time of year, a busy time of year, and one of the most exciting, in my opinion. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Inside High School Sports, and we'll see you next week.